Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we're going to be exploring your month of December alongside Sagittarius season. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back my beautiful kindred spirits and anyone new who may be joining us here today. We've had quite a few new subscribers come in, so thank you so much for coming in and joining this little tiny community on the internet. I really do appreciate it. And everyone who's been around since the beginning or over the last few months, I really do appreciate your continued support here, and I really do hope it's been benefiting you by checking out these videos and all of the different insights and information that's come through. So I do really appreciate it and just wanted to send out a little bit of gratitude here today, so thank you. And if you want to subscribe though, do feel free to if you haven't already. I do pick a card readings and lots of other fun educational videos on tarot, charm casting, and art magic here. And we are going to be looking into, as I mentioned at the beginning, your month of December alongside Sagittarius season. So happy birthday to anyone who is a Sagittarius out there, and welcome to the month of December. So let's go ahead and start looking at these piles here in a second. But since this is a very small community here, I really do appreciate any support that comes through, if you have the means to, through the Kindred tip jar down below, or if you just feel called to. Alongside that, you can also get and book your own private reading if that's something that you're interested in beyond these pick a card readings. That's very personalized for you, for snail mail readings, where I send a reading to you in the mail for you to treasure and enjoy many seasons beyond when you receive it. And you can also check out the different spell and ritual paper if you're more into that magical, mystical, occult side of things, as I have Yule and Winter Solstice paper out right now for gratitude, for bringing back in the sun, for hope and good cheer and understanding and clarity for your magical adventures and spells and rituals. So if that interests you, if any of that interests you, do feel free to check all of that out down below. And we're going to go ahead and look at these piles. So for each of the piles, I decided to use a little bell here. Usually I use these cute little figurines that we tend to get out around winter time for the holidays, but we're a little bit behind this year, so all I have are these little bells at the minute. But here for pile number 1, we have this small little green bell. It sounds like this. So that is pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, you have the blue bell, and it sounds like this. So that is pile number 2. And here for pile number 3, we have the red bell, and it sounds like this. So that is pile number 3. So before you start heading off to the timestamps and all that fun, I do love to invite you to take a deep grounding and cleansing breath here with me so you can better choose and intuitively choose your piles. So let's go ahead and take that breath here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose all 3 of the piles, choose between 1 or 2 of the piles, or even flip and flop between them. There really is no right or wrong way. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And as I mentioned earlier, if you'd like to look into those private readings to the Yule and Winter Solstice spell and ritual papers for your own magical rituals, or even into my Instagram community where you can better connect with the community over there, then do feel free to check that all out down below. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this little green bell, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it down right here so you can see it during your reading today. We are going to be using and exploring with the different supplies here of the charms, the different oracle decks, which I'll have all listed down below alongside the Modern Witch Tarot, which I haven't pulled this one out for a little while, and I felt so called to it today. So that is what we're going to be using to look into not only your monthly blessings, your monthly energies that are coming through for December for you, but also we're going to be looking into specific Sagittarius energy coming through with Sagittarius season, all about exploration, about sort of tending to your flame, about curiosity, and also quite a lot of focus and intelligence. So we're going to see what comes through for you with that. So do feel free to get settled, get ready for this reading however you wish, however makes sense for you, getting some water, some tea, a snack, a cozy blanket, or something else that just makes you feel good. And we're going to get started. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And let's look into 3 cards of the main energies and insights coming through for you for the month of December. Let's see, I feel like there's another one, so I'll pick that one up here in a second. But one more. Okay, so we have, first off, flying out hot and heavy, quick and fast, we've got the Knight of Swords, which is the quickest knight, the fastest knight, and the airiest of them. So this is definitely showing some very quick-winded energy. The month might feel like it's just going to fly by, so that's something to keep in mind. I feel like, at least for me, December typically is that way. We also have here the Ten of Wands, which represents a lot happening as well, but we'll dive into this card even deeper here in a second. But let's see one more final card here for you for the month of December. As always, do feel free to send your energy in. It really does make a difference while I'm doing up these cards, because even though this is a collective reading, I do try to, cater to the energy that comes through. So we have the Two of Wands coming up here as well. So a lot of directive, a lot of wind behind your sails is what I would say for the month. A lot happening. We also had, like I said, that Two of Wands coming through. So when I'm looking at all 3 of these cards together, this is the picture that's starting to very quickly come in for me. Is one, you're going to have a very quick month. The month seems like it's going to just fly by, and there seems to be a lot of directive energy. So I just feel like you have a lot of directions in which you could take the month, and a lot of things in which are on your mind. I just feel like maybe it's slightly overwhelming. It could also just be that you want to really tie up a lot of those loose ends at the end of this month, at the end of this year, There just seems to be this really quick-witted, very quick, fast energy, and also just a lot happening, which I feel like with most of us, we have the holidays going on. We have a lot of energy to be giving and taking to everyone, gift giving, if that's something you're also into. So it just seems to be that it's going to sweep on by. But the thing that I think is really interesting is you also had the Two of Wands showing up here. And so there seems to be this very quick energy, very fast in terms of not only like things that are happening outside of your control, but also within your control. It seems like you're very focused, very direct, want to get the thing done and get it done. And just like it's almost tunnel visioning. But when we have the Two of Wands here, the Two of Wands showcases a lot of planning, but not a lot of doing, right? It showcases them like researching on their phone, checking things out, looking into books, checking out the library, looking at all of the things, all of the notes, all of the studying, but not necessarily planning or making something happen. It's a lot behind the scenes, but not actually any actions made, right? So it does seem that maybe things are just going to pile up because you're going to either feel that you're in this mode where it's like, I'm going to sit on the couch and research it, but not necessarily go out and do the things that you want to do this month. And then you have the Knight of Swords, which is like all of a sudden you're just flying off the couch and you're off to go do that thing. And it feels like it's going to be very polarizing, sort of in that way. So I do feel that there is that like push and pull here, and there might just need to be a bit of a balance. Maybe it's because you just feel like you have so much on your mind, so much you've got to do, that it's like, I feel like it's that like deadline feeling, right? Like you're procrastinate, and then you do the thing and you rip all the way through it and you get it all done, but you're going to feel exhausted at the end of it, which I have definitely been there. I feel like all of us have done this before, and I just think it's something to be aware of. I'm not saying any judgment on that that side of things. If that's how you want to approach the month, then go for it if it works for you. But if not, it just might be that it might be important and useful to you to really plan things out, maybe actually write things down and make specific dates and times in which you'll get some of the things done, so you don't feel like you're in this whirlwind to get things done this month, because it seems like you have a lot of tasks on your mind, a lot of events to go to, a lot of places, a lot of people to tend to, and that just could be quite overwhelming. And I think that planning is useful, but also making sure to plan actual action into that. So those are your first 3 cards on the main energy coming through, but we're going to look into, as always, your biggest blessing coming through for the month. And if you don't really like the idea or narrative of the idea of a blessing, you could also see this as the energy that's just most heightened this month or most on your side. Like it's the thing that's like you're going to put it in your tool belt. It's the best tool in your tool belt this month. So let's see what that energy is for you. And we're using the Seed and Sickle Oracle, which I felt really called to for whatever reason. I just felt like there were specific herbs that just really wanted to speak to you all today. So we're going to see what that one is for you. Do feel free to send your energy in, and we'll see. Okay, so you have Feverfew, number 28. It is also in the fall suit, so it can still represent being in the fall energy. If this is, it doesn't have to be that you're in fall if you're not in the northern hemisphere right now, but it does seem to be related to that idea of that type of timing in case you're looking for something for timing. But alongside that, Feverfew is one of the most, they're the kind of plant that if it were a person, it would be the kind of person that's very, very, very hard to become their friend. But once they are your friend, they are your friend for life. You know what I mean? Those types of people where it takes forever to get through their shell, but once you're in for life. And so Feverfew showcases that you're going to have maybe a friend that's going to be really on your side. Maybe they could help you out with sort of planning this out, or someone that you're going to connect to and kind of break through their shell, or you're going to be working towards doing that with someone, growing closer with someone. It seems to be that's a really big energy. So friendship, relationship building, and trust building that's going to be happening over this month. And I think that's a really beautiful thing to have, especially with how much of a whirlwind things are going on for you in terms of tasks and things. So it'd be really nice to have this ally on your side, you know? So that is what we have coming in for like the biggest tool in your tool belt or your biggest blessing this month. Alongside that, we're going to also pull, as I love to, each month a relationship card. So this can be a card just for advice and general guidance on a relationship in your life. So do feel free to send the specific relationship that you're thinking of in if you'd like, and we'll see that collective message, or it could just be in general. So it could be a family member, friendships. It could have to do with a more romantic relationship, a spiritual relationship, or even a relationship with yourself. But let's see what comes through for you. And maybe you just want to mysteriously see as well what comes through and how it relates to a specific relationship in your life. That's totally open as well. But do feel free to send that energy in. We'll see the guidance coming in, advice. Okay, so the one that you got here is clarity. And it says, bright paths of understanding are on their way. Or will open, rather. Wow, I can read today. Anyways, what I got from this card, though, is the idea that if you have a relationship in your life that you were thinking of, it seems that a path could be opening to either reconnect with that person or find closure with that person, some sort of clarity element coming in there. Or on top of that, I am also getting the idea that it really connects with this Feverfew card, especially with the type of plant here. They're very similar looking. And so I think it relates to that again. So if you had someone in mind, this might be more information on that, with the idea of clarity and paths opening with them, feeling more open, even minded with them, or them opening up to you in some way to gain that clarity and understanding. There also seems to be this feeling also, if you feel like you're butting heads with someone right now, because I feel like there's some of you that are feeling that way. If you're butting heads with someone, it seems that it's not really that new paths are opening in like them shifting their perspective or you shifting your perspective to to find common ground, but rather understanding that you both have very different perspectives. You both have very different ways in which you maybe go about the world, the way that you have your rituals in life, the way that you plan or don't plan, or whatever it is. There seems to be that polarizing, butting head feeling that I was getting in terms of a relationship. And so it's not about trying to change a person or make them fully compromise onto one side or the other, but rather just understanding that you both can have very different paths, very different ways of doing something, and that's okay too, that it doesn't have to merge for it to be okay. But rather just changing the perspective in the idea that you can have two different ways that's coming through. So I felt like that was very specific to a few of you, but that was really coming through quite heavily, so I had to quickly mention that. But we are going to pull your final card here, and then we'll be moving on to the charms to get those last little bits and bobs details for the month. But this card is going to be on Sagittarius season. So if you've been enjoying this video so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel, the algorithm, all that fun stuff, so I really do appreciate it. But we are going to look into this one for Sagittarius season. And as I mentioned earlier, Sagittarius season has a lot to do with the idea of pushing things forward, to exploring, to being curious, to lighting up that flame back underneath you. And so if you've been looking for something to kind of explore this month, that's what we're going to be playing around with. And that's what I was feeling really called to. So this Sagittarius message is going to be showcasing an energy coming through for you that you could begin to explore a new skill, a new hobby, a new idea, a new perspective, whatever it is. We will see, but there's something to explore this month. What could you become curious about and explore from a very experiential kind of learning standpoint as well? Do feel free to send your energy, and a couple are trying to fly out, but they haven't decided. So group one, Sagittarius season. Okay. So you got two different ones here. I was feeling those two top cards, and I'll move this down so we can make some room here. But you got both the Mountain, which says challenges, adversity, and endurance. And then you also got here the Ace of Thread Fiber, and it says wandering, warmth, and gentleness. Very different energies, where this is very in the clouds, warmth, that ease of time. And then the Mountain is very hard to get through, right? You've got to either drill through it or climb up it. There's no way around it. You can't just float above it. And so what I'm getting here is to explore the Mountain, and the idea that you're going to be exploring what is adverse to you, what is difficult for you. And right now, I'm feeling very called to the idea of endurance, especially since, like I said, you have a lot that might be more challenging this month. So if you have to endure a really long journey up the mountain of December, the mountain of Sagittarius season, it seems to that gentleness, I felt really called to the idea of gentleness at the end of this card, is to give yourself a little bit more ease. If you've ever knit a sweater or something like that, I know this is very specific as an analogy, but if you've ever knit a sweater, it's not like most things that you buy in the store. If you knit a sweater, you have to make ease. You have to make sure that when you put a sweater in the wash, it's going to shrink, and when you wear it for a little while, it's going to become really baggy. So there's this feeling of giving yourself some grace, a little bit of ease, knowing that what you're wearing and what you're working through is going to have its ebbs and flows, where it feels tight and where it also feels really loose. And so I'm just feeling this feeling of a gentle fiber, and feeling that you don't have to be so stoic about it. So in that mountain type of energy, yes, you can climb and you can get through the things. You can explore what is difficult for you. I'm not saying to just put it aside and, come back to it later and wait until it stacks up or something like that. But rather just finding more balance there, balance between what can be very difficult and adverse and what is also giving yourself a little bit more time, ease, and gentleness, a little bit of a grace period. So I think between those two energies of gentleness and endurance, ease and challenge is going to be where you find that sweet spot for exploration, and how you're going to dig up a little bit of this really nice beautiful Sagittarius message by the end of the season, if you take advantage of it. So that's what I'm getting so far for all of your cards. Let's go ahead and move on to the charms. So whenever I get these charms out, these are just to look into the last little bits and bob details that are coming through for your month. So we're going to stir them up and cast them right on top of the cards. So let's see, do feel free to send your energy in, and we're going to look into not only December, but also more on that Sagittarius season energy. So let's see, group 1. Okay, so let's zoom in here and we can see what you have. So nothing fell down here on your clarity card, so I'm just going to leave it down here. But the ones that we had mostly fell in one small little section and very directly related to both the Ace of Thread with fiber, wandering, warmth, and gentleness, right? That floating in the wind, that feeling of ease, that loosening up the sweater. But then we also have quite a few different things going on over here also on that planning card of the Two of Wands. So the things that you might be planning around have a lot to do with clarity and awareness, again, maybe about a relationship. Whenever I see the breast cancer awareness one, it doesn't necessarily mean what you maybe think it is, but it's rather just the idea that you are gaining awareness. You're researching something, you're planning and gaining more awareness on something that you didn't once before. So a new skill or a better understanding of a skill that you're already trying to grow on, possibly around planning. More around what you might be planning around is something around music or something that just really lights up. Like when you listen to a song and you just sort of light up and you feel like you could kind of like main character energy is what I'm getting. So maybe it's just making sure to plan time for yourself, plan time for you to have some main character energy moments. In the idea that like if you're reading a book and you're reading about the main character and you see all the side characters, you don't want to be the side character of your own story. So making sure to plan a little bit for yourself as well. The other thing we have here just between both of them, just kind of chilling on the edge, is the rhino charm. And the rhino, as much as we talk about rhinos being very, like they have the horn and they can be very aggressive and they can charge much like a bull, they also are very social creatures. They're very social. So there is something about making sure to maybe put some boundaries around certain people who maybe aren't really on your side or making it more difficult for you to have those main character moments, trying to take over too much or overbear your month. So that's something that's coming in too that might gain you a little bit more ease. We also have the rabbit here, the little bunny. The bunny makes me think of, again, that very quick energy. If you ever think of like the tortoise and the hare, this would be that very quick bunny. And so again, giving yourself a little bit more gentleness, a little bit more ease, and planning ahead versus just procrastinating until the end is probably going to be more on your side this month. And to also, when it comes to creating a little bit more ease into your month and creating that balance, it might have you might have a Pisces who is on your side. So it could be a friend who is a Pisces in their sun, moon, or rising, or maybe you're a Pisces, so you're on your side this month a little bit more than you thought you were. It can also just be the idea of Pisces and the energy that can come through with intuition. So some of you might be feeling just extremely intuitive this month. So really listening to your intuition in that way as well, and using intuitive tools and exercises could be useful. So those are all of the cards and charms here for your month of December and throughout Sagittarius season. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please be sure, as I mentioned earlier, to give this video a like, and also let me know in the comments down below how your month is going and things that you're excited for this month. I would love to hear. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I put out new videos every single Monday. I've been experimenting with some new pick-a-cards that are very unique here, so do feel free to check those out, and especially last week's video. And also, you can check out the different ways you can support this space as well throughout the holiday season. So if you're interested in a reading beyond a collective reading, where we can look very deeply and personal at the things that you are very interested in learning about and asking questions about, I do snail mail readings, so you can check those out down below below. But you can also check out the different spell and ritual papers that I make. I currently have some out for Yule and the winter solstice, one of my favorite holidays, full of hope and clarity and understanding. It's also a really great one to just enjoy the gratitude of the season. So if you're interested in doing different gratitude rituals and other fun things around this time of year, do feel free to check that out down below as well. And also the Kindred tip jars down below as well if you'd like to send anything in through there. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and close off your reading. Thank you so much for being here, being on the channel. I'm so grateful to so many of you and all of you who join in on this space. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2. If you decide to choose this little tiny blue bell, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it down right here so you can see it during your reading today, as we are going to be using the charms, several different oracle decks, and the Modern Witch Tarot, which I'll have all of this listed down below in the description alongside everything else that you could be looking for. We are going to be looking into the first 3 cards here in a moment, but do feel free to get settled, get ready to go, as we are going to be looking into not only your monthly blessings and ideas and energies on their way in for December, but also we're going to be looking into a card specific to Sagittarius season and the idea of what Sagittarius season really brings about, this direct, very explorer kind of energy. It's about exploring, being curious, about an intellectual side to feeling passionate, and also a idea of feeling very like there's an optimistic gumption to our beautiful Sagittarians. So happy birthday to all of you who are possibly having yours this month with Sagittarius season. And yeah, we're gonna start out with the first 3 cards here on the main 3 energies coming through for you for the month of December. So let's see what that is for you, group 2. So do feel free as always to send your energy in. I know this is a collective reading, so adding in that personal little touch really does make a difference. But let's see, group 2 here. There we go. Let's see anything else before I move on. Okay. So first 2 cards, we have the 5 of Cups, which can represent a bit of a disheartening disappointment kind of energy to it. And then I'm also getting the 5 of Wands, which represents either an inner conflict, inner turmoil, or a feeling like outwardly as well. So we're going to see how those align with your final card here. So let's see what that is for the main energies coming through for the month of December for group 2. Let's see here. Okay. So we have both the 8 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles and the 3 of Wands here. Okay, a picture is forming here, and what I'm getting is that there was something that kind of fell out. Like, it feels like something just like that you were excited about, that you had a lot of passion for, or a lot of potential rather. There's a lot of potential in something that you were trying to grow with someone in a relationship, or something you were trying to manifest into your life monetarily or financially, something that you were really like banking on, very excited for, that you were even maybe planning it into your life, trying to actually motivate something forward. And it seems that it just sort of went awry this month, that something has recently went awry and it's going to kind of linger through the month, or it's just something that just felt like it got away from you, or is currently in like this disappointment or up in the air kind of situation, because the up in the air is showing up here with the 5 of Wands. It feels like it's discombobulated a little bit. It hasn't all come together. The pieces haven't come together to create the right thing yet. There's still that inner turmoil, or maybe an external force around that. And then we also have, like I said, that 5 of Cups coming on right off the bat, showcasing sort of a disappointing situation. It's not that there isn't something still good. It doesn't mean like everything is doom and gloom, but it does seem like it just is kind of upsetting that something kind of didn't work out how you had expected or how you had hoped. So that's what I'm getting here for those main energies. Like I said, it could be around a relationship, since we have that Ace of Pentacles and also that Three of Wands and a lot of wand energy. It showcases that you were like very passionate about it or very excited, and that's why the disappointment is so much more heavy, because you have to wait something out now, something physically that you were trying to get going, within your business, within your job, within your relationship, something physical and tangible, just, or even finances just sort of fell out or is in a standstill. So that's what I'm really getting here for your first 4 cards. Outside of that, though, even with all of this going on, it does still seem like there is potential for forward movement. Just because this may have happened in the past does not mean that it's not still available to you. Like I said, it is up in the air, so things could still resolve by the end of the month, but or even later in the month, but it might just feel kind of in the air at the beginning, because we still do have the Three of Pentacles and we still do have the Ace of Pentacles in your hands. So it's not that you can't revisit it or find a conclusion with it or a resolve of it, but it does seem to be still quite heavy on your mind. And the Three of Wands is showing to me, like, outside of all of these, it just feels kind of like it's singling itself out. It's just that this month there is still going to be forward movement happening. It could be that someone new or some new information might be coming in as well. We have these little sailboats, which represent, yes, you taking sail, right? They're looking up from this cliff and thinking, I could take sail, I could go off and do that thing. Something is starting, but at the same time, the boats also come to you, right? So there could be someone coming to you with a new opportunity that you maybe weren't expecting because you still were kind of focusing on this. The Five of Pentacles does showcase new opportunities that could also be right behind you, something you're not actively looking for or seeking, but might still be coming into your life as well. So those are the things that I'm seeing coming through for you so far this month, but I do want to look a little bit further with your next card, which is going to be your December blessing card. So with this one, I know not everyone really loves the idea of the word blessing. So if that is you, you can also see this as just like the energy that's most on your side this month. It's the best tool in your tool belt, the good luck charm almost. So let's see what that is coming through for you for the month of December. What energy is on your side this month? Okay, so you have 2 that flew out. You have a lot of cards showing up here. But we had, first off, the mistletoe show up, and then right after it, like immediately after, it flipped over, and we got the mandrake. So both of these are in the winter suit, if you're looking for timing. And we also have the number 50 and 48, so they're very close together in the deck. Mistletoe represents a ceasefire. Whenever I see this card immediately, it represents a ceasefire. It represents that if there is a battle, if there is a conflict, it's at ceasefire, there is a peace that's going to resolve by the end of the month, it does seem, or that it's definitely on its way, and that period of having to wait is going to benefit you in the end, whether it was the way that you had expected or something else that might be coming in, but it does seem that it's going to positively help you versus create more conflict. And the mandrake also represents the idea of possibility. When I see this card, it represents a lot of different things, and a lot of different things could come up, but the word that came through for me was possibility immediately, and that there are more possibilities, that there are more ways of looking at your situation than the way you currently are, that there's more possibility and more opportunity for you than you had maybe gone into the month, or maybe you've been reflecting on and kind of ruminating on and contemplating what's kind of up in the air. And if you look away from that, if you look from it from a different vantage point, so if you're always the bird looking at the bird's eye view, then maybe looking at it from the microscopic point of view, or vice versa. But it's something about seeing a new point of view and looking at something from a new point of view to create a new possibility. So the words that are coming through is, through ceasefire, new possibilities are coming through for you. So those are the words that, if you're journaling this month or anything you want to do that way to explore explore these ideas, I would definitely say using those words would be really useful to you and would be a useful idea to even create a mantra for the month. But those are the 2 cards that we have here for your blessings. You have 2 of them. We're going to look a little bit further though, because now we're going to look into the relationship card of the month. So I like to use these to pull a specific guided advice coming through for you from Spirit for a specific relationship in your life. So you can send in just generally a relationship, or it could be a specific one you want to look into. Again, this is a collective reading, so we'll see what comes through. But with that in mind, you do have the option to send that through. So it might be from a relationship vantage point of your relationship to Spirit, to yourself, to a platonic relationship, friendship, a familial relationship, or even a romantic one. So do feel free to send that in, and we'll look into a guided spirit message coming through for you for advice moving into the month of December with this relationship or relationships in general. So let's see. Group. So again, you had 2 that came through because just after that there was another card below it that I was feeling called to. But you have both words of love. So it says here, speak with your heart. So this says maybe that you're going to really be more vulnerable, or let your intentions for a relationship be more known, to let it kind of loose on how you're feeling. But we also have status here, which is adaptation. Change will be better than you think. So there's something that is going to be shifting and changing there because you made a because you really let your feelings show, you let your feelings be spoken to someone else. It could be someone outside of this person you're looking into, right? You could be talking to a friend or asking for advice and maybe letting your words be known that way. But on top of that, it does seem that just in general, like I was talking about before, a new relationship might be coming in because of that idea of adaptation, of thinking about your situation in a new way and branching on a new path. So see which one or maybe both are coming in for you. And we will pull your final card here before diving deep into the little bits and bobs details with the charms. But this one is going to be on Sagittarius season, which I'll explain here in just a moment. But if you have been enjoying this reading so far, it would be amazing, and I would really truly appreciate it if you could give this video a like. It really does help the algorithm, the channel, and everything like that to keep this space going and running, so I really do appreciate it. You can also leave a comment or check out any of the other ways to support down below. But we are going to look into your Sagittarius message. So for Sagittarius season, which we are currently in, if you're watching this around when I post this, up to about the 20th or to the 23rd of December, when we swap over to Capricorn season, is going to be Sagittarius. So we are currently going through the season of the explorer, of the archer, of the directing your energy kind of feeling towards the month. So the one that I really wanted to do for you is to pull a card on something you could explore this month, because Sagittarius is all about adventuring, exploring, and getting curious about things, and more of that experiential learning, hands-on learning. So I want to see what comes through for you on something you're going to be exploring and learning and growing through. That might be just completely unrelated to all of this. It might relate, but we're going to see what that is for you. So do feel free to send your energy in again, and we'll see what comes through. But group 2, you have here, group 2, the 5 of paper cut, and it says loss, betrayal, and finality. And what I'm feeling is honestly like the idea of loss, because whenever we see the 5 of cups, it can also represent grief, a loss of someone in your life, a loss of a part of yourself, or a path that you were on, or something that you were trying to explore, right? So it seems that like you lost an exploration, you lost something that you were excited and passionate about. But through Sagittarius season, you're also going to be gaining the idea of what card comes right after this. And you know what, I'm actually going to fish it out because I feel like it's really important for you. Of the 6 of paper, glue, which represents mending, healing, and reconciliation. So I feel like you're in this period of time right now where you're kind of in the process of mending, and you're exploring how you can mend yourself through possibly needing to kind of chop off certain ways you could have gone, different pathways that maybe you've lost, and now you have to kind of adapt and find a new way. But it does seem that you're going through a period of time where you are going to be creating boundaries by cutting off people, by cutting off behaviors, by cutting off habits, by cutting off certain situations, and kind of creating more of that boundary there. And in doing so, it can create a lot of healing and mending in your life. And so that's what I'm really seeing here. And you're also creating, as this is the suit of paper, you're creating a whole new piece of paper. It also kind of reminds me of, when you drop a bowl, and I think this is a Japanese practice, I don't remember what it's called, Kinitsu or something. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'll probably put it on the screen, but basically you take all of these pieces that broke off from different pottery, and you would put them and mend them back together in not an invisible way, but rather make those mends visible by gluing it together with a gold or a silver or some sort of beautiful metallic or a bright color, so that those broken pieces are seen, so you can see the ripples in the cut, the different parts of the paper. So it's also making sure to honor that you did go through something, that it was difficult, and you might be currently going through that up in the air difficult feeling. But when it does come back together, it's not that you have to just push it aside, but rather that those scars that you gain are really something to show and something to explore as well, to continue that healing. So that's what I'm seeing here for all of your cards. We pulled a lot for you here today, so do feel free to soak them in. But we're going to finish off with those charms. So do feel free to send your energy in, and we'll mix these up and cast them right on the cards and see how they interact to get those last little details. So do feel free to send your energy in, and here we go. Group 2. Okay, not too many. Let's see. So we had most of them fall over on this side. I kind of feel called to this specific quarter being sort of a reflection and an idea, especially since it fell on the back side of it, of it being this opportunity that's still coming in for you, and it possibly being more again about that adaptation and gluing something together that wasn't immediately possible for you at the start. So as I was talking about earlier, it can be about healing, but your process can also be about looking at it from a new perspective. If you cut up a bunch of paper, right, you can puzzle it back together in a new way and create paper still, but it may not be the same way it was before, but it could also be better and have adapted since then. So it does seem like your situation, a new possibility, a new path for you might be opening up financially, or in, again, that physical sense that we were talking about, something physical in your life around job, career, finances, or a relationship that's coming in and adapting. That change will be better than you think. So reminding yourself of that and enduring through this process of change that might feel very difficult, but is going to help you grow ultimately. It just might be a slower process than you were originally expecting, with the cactus here. And then I also just realized too, before I talk on this one, more about that, like piecing things together in a new way, is you did also have the puzzle piece charm. So again, you might be piecing things together in a new way than you had originally expected when it comes to what it was that you were so excited about at the beginning of the month, or just recently. And then we also have here the senior charms. Whenever I see this, it also can be representing that someone in your life might be coming in to help you that is either older or feels more mature on the subject that you are trying to grow through or explore at this time. So you might be talking to someone who has really great expertise on this healing process, or has gone through something similar, who might be able to help you at this time, who you usually look up to and would be a great mentor for you throughout it. Possibly someone who is a Sagittarius. And then on top of that, I also just get the idea too of this sort of evolution feeling too, kind of reminding me of the Judgment card, because it also represents like when I was a senior. So this also can represent like you moving forward in some way too, through a new life path, or a new life stage rather. So those are all the things that I'm really getting for you. It seems like a very impactful and a very important month for you when it comes to everything that's happening here. So do feel free to take this in and maybe journal on it or understand it even deeper. I think that's always a great way to utilize these readings, is to look even further and deeper and to use it as a tool. Also, if you did enjoy this reading, as I mentioned earlier, you can like this video to really help. But beyond liking the video, you can also comment down below and subscribe to the channel, as I put out new videos every single Monday for pick a card readings, for art magic, for tarot and charm casting, and all sorts of fun things. So if that interests you, do feel free to check that out down below by subscribing or by just checking out the videos I already have here. You can also check out down below the different ways you can support this small business and this small channel throughout the holiday season. I have Yule spell and ritual paper out that's specific for the winter solstice, so if that's something that interests you for the magic side of things, you can check that out down below. You can also check out down below the snail mail readings that I am also offering, and we'll be doing really fun ones coming up at the end of the year that will be specific to the new year, so definitely look out for those. And also the Kindred tip jar is down below as well if you want to just send in a little bit of holiday cheer. So thank you so much for joining me at this space. Thank you for being here throughout the year. I really do appreciate all of you who do support this space and really join in on these videos. Thank you so much. I hope you did get something out of this, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this red little bell, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it down right here so you can see it during your reading today, as we are going to be playing around with the charms, several different oracle decks, and the Modern Witch Tarot, which I'll have all of this listed in the description down below so you can see all of the different things that we did get up to here today, and you can see the different ways you can support the channel if you'd like to as well. But we are going to be looking into your month of December, the blessings, the energy, the insights, and also specific cards related to Sagittarius season, as we are now in the season of Sagittarius. So happy birthday to anyone who is a Sagittarius, and also the direct, fun, adventurous energy you're going to be bringing in for all of us. So let's see what optimism they can bring. So let's see the first 3 cards here. Do feel free to get settled for the main energies that are coming in for you for the month of December. So do feel free to get settled, send your energy in through time and space, and let's see your first 3 cards here, group 3. So the first 3 cards to showcase the main energies coming through for your month of December. What do we have? So I'm going to see that one here in a second. I want to see the next 2 cards. So group 3, do feel free to send your energy in. They are flopping all over the place. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it feels like they're going many different directions. So we're going to see what that holds for you. So we have the 2 of Swords, the Strength card. Interesting that we're going into Sagittarius season, but we've got a bit of that Leo energy as well. And let's see what else. One more card here, or 2, and we'll see what you got. So you also have the Judgment card, and all the way over here, the Knight of Cups. So, alright, lots of different ways that your month is going. It's not really one direct message here. It kind of feels like it has 2 different paths that are happening here, and they feel separate, yet still obviously a part of one another. But we have one side over here with Judgment showcasing an evolution. It represents awakenings. It represents waking up to something. So something that you've kind of been putting on the back burner, that maybe you're finally waking up and evolving in and moving something forward, that's just been kind of sitting on the back burner, and something that is related to the Knight of Cups here. And the Knight of Cups might be a person. It kind of feels like it's related maybe to a person, in maybe it's that you needed to get back to them, or there was an email, or there was just something that you have been putting on hold for a while with someone who you maybe were romantically involved with. It could also be a friendship. I really do feel a lot of friendship vibes coming through here. But the Knight of Cups has, the Knight of Cups has a lot to do with a person who is very, they might be a water sign, they can be very emotional, not in necessarily like a crying emotional way, but just in general, their emotions can run very high in every type of emotion, or they just feel very full in their emotions, in their range of emotion. They're also very gentle and sweet and kind, usually quite compassionate and understanding, but it can also be on the flip side, showcasing a bit of that like hard shell as well, of like this leather jacket and making sure that you're still well protected because of that vulnerable, squishy side of them. So if that represents someone, if you feel like someone's coming through when I'm talking about those traits, then it seems that your relationship with them is currently evolving, possibly to more of a friendship energy, or it went from friends to something that's romantic. It could be going both ways. Just see what really is calling to you there. But on the other side, we have the Strength card and the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords represents you needing to make a decision on something. There's something that you've been very indecisive about, kind of dancing around the situation, picking up a lot of information, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying out this, trying out that, putting on a billion different hats, but not actually resolving it. So it seems like there's something that you're wanting to resolve, and it's taking a lot of strength and a lot of energy out of you. That you are possibly trying to resolve. Alongside that, though, some of you might just be feeling like there's just an indecisive part of you and there's something that you need to decide on, and that also is just taking a lot of strength to get through. It doesn't have to be as heavy as I first mentioned it, where it feels like you've had to go through so many different hats, but it does seem like it's really important to you to resolve this month, which reminds me a lot of group 2 as well. So if that's calling to you more than this side, then that might be something to check out. But one thing I also want to mention, though, is this Strength card and the Knight of Cups are kind of just staring each other down. I feel this very stare down energy of like two different sides. We have like this like fiery, bold strength, kind of like putting down their boundaries, telling their side of the story, and then you have this emotional, very open-minded kind of person happening over here on the Knight of Cups, and they seem to be really battling. So it seems that also something that maybe needs to be resolved, and the reason why maybe this might be a relationship that's evolving and changing is because of this battle. And I don't know if it'll get resolved this month, but it does seem to be weighing on your mind as well. So that's something else to keep in mind if you were called to this pile, is that there is a bit of a butting head energy between the Strength card and this Knight of Cups. So I really feel like you are the Strength card, trying to put down the boundaries, trying to be like, okay, I can't do this right now. I'm not interested in this right now. I don't feel called to the way that you are. Maybe, there just seems to be something happening there for a few of you if you're not feeling called to that first message. And I feel like a lot of you maybe picked this pile because there is a lot of overlapping energies that are nuanced in certain ways. So I do hope you use your own discernment and take from what I'm saying here to heart with what is most useful to you, and leave what doesn't. That's totally okay. And you might be seeing something else appear for you, and I think that's amazing to use your own intuition as well alongside these readings to co-create. So let's see what else is coming through for you now with your biggest blessing for the month of December. So this is the Seed and Sickle Oracle, and if you aren't really interested in the idea of a blessing, if that's just like it cringes you out, you're not really into that, then you can just see it as like the good luck charm on your path this month, or you can see it as just like the highest energy that's most on your side, or the best tool in your tool belt this month. So let's see what that tool or energy is coming in for you. This one is just stabbing me, so we're going to use this one. So okay, your tool is Moonwort. And what I love about this card, it's one of my favorites in the deck, is one, it showcases this key. And the reason why it does is Moonwort, I don't know if it actually does or if it's just folklore, but it is said to be able to break down iron locks, and the different properties of the plant will slowly break down iron and break down metal. And so even though this plant may be this gentle plant, it can still have so much strength and inner strength. And so this represents being able to see your opponent or see the things that are really difficult for you, see the path and the brick wall in your path, the lock in your path, the something that's just trying to like make things difficult, that block. And knowing that you have the ability to look at the situation from a new point of view with Moonwort on your side, and being able to always find a way to slither through the situation, whether that's going under the wall of this block that's in your way, whether it's rusting out that iron lock, whether it is using an actual key, whether it's realizing the door was open the whole time. Whatever it is, you are always able to have this sort of more clever nature to you. So I would see cleverness and your ability to sort of adapt to your situation, whatever it may be that kind of is a brick wall in your path, and knowing that you're always going to have the resources and the cleverness and the ability and the skills to either gain or already have to be able to get through your situation. And I think that is a wonderful blessing or tool to have on your side this month, so I love that for you guys. But let's go ahead and look a little further. Now we're going to look at a relationship message that's coming through for your month. So this is a advice card or a guidance card on any relationship you want to send in. It is a collective reading, so you can be very specific about this, but do use your own discernment. So it could be for a platonic or familial friendship or romantic relationship, or even a relationship with yourself or spirit. So let's see what you have coming through. Do feel free to send that in. Group 3. I am kind of curious about your guys' Knight of Cups here, so we'll see if anything comes through for there. Feeling like this bottom card. So let's see what you have once I pick all of this up, that is. Okay, so while I was doing that, we also had another one pop up, so we'll go ahead and take it. But we had Tiger Lily, Security, Choose the Safe Harbor for now. And then you also had Cooperation, Take the Hand Offered or Ask. So it does seem that you might again have a person in your life that you're really butting heads with, and that's maybe why that cooperation is coming in, that two-sided energy is coming in, this feeling of like a polarizing energy, or a energy, like I said, of this friendship or relationship that's evolving, and maybe there's just a little bit of dissonance there for a little while. It's not going to be perfectly in tune. It's going to need a little bit of a tune-up, but it does seem that taking the secure path, yes, it says choose the safe harbor for now. For some of you, maybe needing to have a little bit of distance from this person is still a really great thing for you, especially as we go through the holidays. I know a lot of people are meeting up with people who we butt heads with, we don't see all the time. We have very different personal point of views, and all of that comes up a lot this time of year. And if that's you, then maybe it's about needing to either cooperate and using the safe harbor, and maybe not creating more conflict if you can, might just be the better path for some of you. And if not that, then it can just be showcasing to you that yes, it's going to evolve, but it might just take a little bit of time, and right now might not be the time to create that conflict. So that's what I'm seeing here for your specific cards. But again, you did have Moonwort, so maybe you still need to make it through that path, and that's up to you, because you had the skills in mind to do that if you would like to, in terms of cooperating or creating common ground with this person or confronting them. So again, it's very up to you. This entire pile is showcasing the idea that it's very up to you how you decide to handle this situation, but it's just giving you a little bit more to look at. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, we will pull another card here in a second, but if you are enjoying this reading, do feel free to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much, and I really do appreciate it, so thank you. And we're going to pull a Sagittarius season card for you now. So this one is going to be what it is that you can begin to explore this month. So something you haven't been exploring before, a new skill, a new path, a new decision even, a new way in which you could think about the world, something that you're exploring and experientially learning through, much like Sagittarius. So let's see what that is for you. Group 3. You could also just see this as a advice card or guidance card if you'd like for Sagittarius season, but I'd love to see what it is that you could explore if you wish to. This is a very up to you card if you decide to take it on. It's kind of like a bonus quest or mission. So let's see what that is for you. Interesting. So you have here, tipping over with all of the other cards, is the Seer. And it says here, intuition, divination, and foresight, which, to be fair, your entire card, all of your cards in your pile have been showcasing so much of that, using your own discernment, using your own intuition, co-creating the reading together. I felt really called to saying those sorts of things, and it's probably because of this. And it's kind of like this is an opportunity for you right now to look at these cards and really use your own intuition, use your own discernment, use your own ideas of foresight, and taking a moment to really take in the imagery. Like I said, was feeling really called to this leather jacket. I was feeling called to the lion and the idea of its like ferocity, but also its gentleness. The fact that these swords are going two different ways gave me the idea and the feeling that there was that butting head feeling. So maybe you're seeing something very different in the picture, or very similar, or has its own personal nuances. So I would say that this is a really great time to really explore your intuition, really explore that throughout the month, and listen to your gut feelings. Really explore what they're trying to tell you and journal about them. I think that's always a great idea. If any of you are just getting into tarot or just getting into exploring your intuition through any form, whether that's phyromancy, looking at the clouds, in a car ride, or using tools like these, it's always important to journal or to find ways in which you can seek out those connections. So if some of you, maybe you want to write and journal something down. Some of you might want to write the symbols you've been seeing everywhere, or the numbers, say you've been seeing 777 or 403 or whatever it may be. But writing these down, and then afterwards writing down also what it is and why you saw them. Or if you're not sure why at first, if you see spirals more than once, writing down what you were doing, what you were thinking about, and then you might see connections begin to grow. So I think that you're going to be really exploring your foresight, exploring your intuition and divination throughout Sagittarius season. So that is what we have showing up for you. Maybe you're gaining a new skill there. If you guys are interested in learning about how to charm cast or other ways of using your own intuition, then definitely feel free to subscribe or check out the video I already have on a master guide of how to utilize charm casting, which is a very accessible way to utilize your divination skills. With that in mind, let's go ahead and move on to your charms. So we're going to look into those last final details here by casting the charms directly on the cards and seeking out what comes through. So use your own intuition. Maybe you'll see something come in here for you that's very personal to you. So here we go, group 3. Okay, so let's zoom in so you can see here. So the things that we have showing up here from the beginning is the peace charm. So I'm getting the idea of like give peace a chance. Showing up here with that security, tiger lily, choose the safe harbor for now. So again, that might just be another reason to do it, to keep the peace. Not that that's always the best way, right? Because it doesn't always resolve the situation. Trying to keep the peace, trying to, tiptoe around a situation. But in this case, it might be most useful to you. So use your own discernment there if that's something that you want to actually take heed on. We have the letter J showing up here over by making a decision, and over by the, I just turned this over to the number 1 in case you had 1 and 3 showing up here for you. But the letter J showing up here with the 2 of Swords, so maybe it's related to one path that you're trying to take or something along those lines, or even this moonwort idea. You also have the persistent charm showing up here too, to be very persistent and keep reminding yourself to keep moving and moving forward on this, because like I said, some of you might be trying to make a decision this month about something and it's been weighing heavy on your mind. So maybe making that decision about something with the letter J and also being very persistent about it. You also have two charms showing up here on the Knight of Cups, which is giving me more of that choose the safe harbor, maybe break contact with this person, or trying to find a way to interact with them in a more peaceful way, or a way that could just be cooperating with them. Because you do have the snowflake charm, which represents slowing something down, freezing something off, something along those lines. And then you also have the charm of a hibernation or slowing down as well, because there is usually snow on the branch, which represents again a slow growth, a slow down. So it's not that you aren't still going to maybe grow or communicate with this person over time, but it does seem to be that there's this icy cold energy that's happening here, or a freeze of contact with them that's showing up, which I think is interesting because we do have the number 3 here, which usually represents cooperation and working together and teamwork, and then I accidentally moved it over to the number 1, which represents looking after yourself. So again, you might be moving into a situation where you're kind of moving away from someone, or not having them necessarily on your team anymore, and maybe that's what's also changing and shifting and evolving here. So those are all of your charms and cards here. I hope you did enjoy or found something useful throughout this reading. If you did, like I mentioned, please be sure to give this video a like, and let me know in the comments down below the things that you're excited about, or the things that you found throughout this monthly reading that came through for your own intuition. I would love to hear. And also, you can subscribe to the channel as I put out new videos every single Monday for love, career, spirituality kinds of pick-a-cards. But I also do stuff on art magic, and I've been opening up things for more tarot related educational videos that you can check out. You can also, beyond subscribing to the channel, if you'd like to support this channel throughout the holiday season. It is a small little space here, so I really do appreciate it, and I'm very grateful of anything that comes through the Kindred tip jar. Or you can check out the different ways you can support this space through the snail mail readings that I do, and alongside that, the spell and ritual paper that I put out for Yule and the winter solstice. So if any of that interests you, do feel free to check all of that out down below. And also my Instagram community if you want to communicate even further. I love having conversations with you all over there around magic and queerness and your own personal journey and growth, alongside sharing some of mine. So do feel free to check all of that out down below. And yeah, I do believe that is everything. So much gratitude and love going out to you all. Thank you so much for being here as well. I don't say it enough, but I really do appreciate you who have stuck around here from the beginning or anything like that. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.